Update. Told my wife I wanted to divorce. Original post. I'm going to ramble a bit here, but I need advice. I'm truly at a crossroads and unsure where to go. 3 years ago, December 2019 to June 2020, my wife was involved with another man. It got really serious and nearly destroyed us. He was someone I considered a friend. He became a part of daily life for my wife, kids, and myself. He was uncle to my kids. He went on family outings with them while I was working, took them to places for fun, etc. It took me many months to catch on to what they were up to. In the process, there was a great deal of gaslighting going on. I was even used to make him jealous when they were fighting. This is such a small summary of all of it. It completely broke me. Flash forward to now. I always get a little off when March hits, because that is when I started to suspect something was up. I immediately went into denial and ignored some pretty big signs. The last couple years I was able to push through it, but this year, it's really hitting me. I'm coming to the realization that I've not been happy at all since, and honestly feel like I might never be. I feel like whatever was there before 2020 is dead and gone. I feel nothing anymore. We do have 3 kids, 14, 11, and 8. I love my wife, but it's not the same love as before. I feel like this is it. I'm tired, I'm emotionally drained, numb, and feeling hopeless. I think I want out. We've been together 14 years, married for 10. We had our first child less than a year after we met. We were both young, I 20, and her 19. She's been unfaithful many times over the years too. Aside from regular people she's fooled around with, my brother was one of them, and she tried to sleep with my cousin the week leading up to our wedding. Every time she talks about another man now, I immediately start having questions in my head if she's fooling around with him. The apology I got from her at the time was, "Sorry for all the stuff I put you through." And the reason I got why she did it was because she was lost and didn't know who she was anymore. In the end, she made me feel like it was mostly my fault for it happening. I thought after marriage, it would be a clean slate to just be devoted to one another. I'm grappling with all the variables of wanting out. This is obviously a tough world to make a go of right now. Housing is expensive and hard to find. She will have nowhere to go besides back to her parents. That's variable number 1. I'm worried my kids will hate me for doing this to her. I'm fortunate, the house is mine, but it's owned by our family farm. I will be financially stable and fine, but I know she will have a hard time with that. Secondly, just the general worry of how it's going to affect my kids. Our 14-year-old is going through some stuff, and I don't want to make it worse. I want to disrupt the kids' lives as little as possible. I'm also worried she will get combative and turn nasty, which would make it that much harder. I am hopeful for a 50-50 split, but realize she may not want that. I feel guilty for giving up, but I also feel guilty for keeping her in this marriage when it is dead. She also deserves to find a life that makes her happy. I just don't know what to do. I don't think another 10 years of marriage is going to fix anything. We're both young, 36 and 34, starting over is entirely feasible. It's just that all these years of accomplishments and life building feels like for nothing. I don't want to put her in a hard place where it's going to make it so she struggles. She's the mother of my children. I just don't think. I don't want to be unhappy anymore. I don't want to just shove it down and forget about it anymore. I'm so exhausted. I'm lost. You aren't making her struggle. Good God, she has you trained. She's making herself struggle if you leave. She fooled around and got to hold on to her ATM. I wish my ex would have let me screw around and also sat at home and cooked me dinner. Stop doing the pick-me dance. Divorce your brother and cousin while you're at it. You can stay and be miserable, or not. Why anyone would stay is beyond me, but we all have to pick our paths. I would be absolutely shocked if she really hasn't cheated since 2020. Serial cheaters just don't stop their behavior on a dime. I want you to repeat after me. She is a serial cheater and will never change. I want you to keep saying that until you decide to pick up the phone and call a divorce lawyer. Your children deserve a father who isn't constantly worried about his wife cheating. You don't think the children haven't caught on? That things are screwed up between you? When she says she's sorry for hurting you, there's a little voice that doesn't come out that says, "But this is the way I am, and I'm not going to stop." You're still a young guy. It's not too late to start over. Find a woman who actually loves and respects you, and you and your kids will be happier. Hi Opie, you said it all. You can open the marriage if you feel comfortable, or end it. She is not on a monogamous marriage, only you. You seem heavily under her spell, without independent thinking on your behalf. Probably you love her deeply and it's clouding your judgment, I don't know. She will land on her feet and will recover much more quickly than you. Her capability to make new relationships will help her with that. Think of yourself and the kids. The kids living in a household where adultery is tolerated does not give a good message for their future lives, don't you agree? Put the divorce in motion, she will land on her feet. She's been unfaithful many times over the years. In the end, she made me feel like it was mostly my fault for it happening. With all due respect, after her first time cheating, you should have walked away. From what you've written, it seems like she was cheating on you even before you married. And yet you still married her? Why? Had you dumped her then, you wouldn't be legally tied to her. You wouldn't have been lied to, gaslit, and blamed for her actions, and you wouldn't be here writing that you don't know what to do. You know what you need to do, you just need to find the strength to stop being her doormat and divorce her. Update. I basically went 180 for about a week before she asked what was up. I told her I haven't been happy and I wanted out, and she was absolutely floored. That night we went for a drive. She cried, begged me to love her, and basically just broke down. Since then, she's been guilting me, or so it seems. Saying that she feels betrayed. How could I do this to our family? I'm going to mess the kids up, etc. She says it's impossible that I haven't been happy because I looked and seemed happy. I told her I tried my best to hide it and that there were some happy moments, but underneath I was still crushed. She said she believes that what she did was the best thing for us, as it changed me into a better and more reliable person. She said, I'm sorry for what happened, but I'm not sorry for the outcome. I didn't want to say anything to our kids until things were finalized and with an actual plan in place, but she's already had conversations with them without me. To what extent, I'm not sure. She's moved onto the couch since last week, and we basically live on opposite sides of the house. It's looking like a couple months before any housing is even possibly available. She's really turned it around on me, completely invalidated my feelings, and has just made it about how bad I've hurt her and how bad it'll mess up the kids. She told me that I need to choose to love her even when I don't. I told her that I did that 3 years ago, and it's gotten me nowhere, except still in pain, and I'm ready to move on. I'm feeling so much guilt, and I feel bad for her, and that's really confusing me. I know it's likely just her trying to twist my head, but where is all this guilt coming from? It's debilitating and makes me second guess everything. I just wanted to provide a little update to the wonderful people who replied previously. P.S. I made an appointment with a therapist that starts on June 6th. I'm looking forward to that. Talk about a narcissist. Wow, dude, she's got zero guilt, takes no responsibility, and is selfish even in the face of the end. You absolutely made the right call to get away from her. I suggest you tell your family and friends that you are divorcing because of her infidelity. Don't give her the chance to control the narrative and paint you the bad guy. The quicker you get her out of the house, the better. My mouth just dropped reading that part. When she said, I don't regret the outcome. Like she doesn't regret what it did to Opie? That's effing bananas. I couldn't even imagine what I would do if that came out of my wayward husband's mouth. That woman is just something else. I'm really at a loss for words. For real. She's completely trying to rewrite history by making it sound like her affairs were for the benefit of the relationship and family. She's absolutely delusional. This is actually very common among many cheaters. I think most cheaters tend to be on the narcissistic personality spectrum, and they tend to always find some kind of reasoning in which their abuse is somehow for the benefit of their victim. In fact, many abusers justify their acts as it being for the betterment of their victim. The old physical harm that was so pervasive on some religious teaching institutions being a common example of such behaviors. If you read some of the narratives by cheaters in this sub who have reconciled, some of them imply this same nonsense. How their relationship ended up stronger after the fact, like they did their partner a solid by cheating on them. It's nuts. What did she expect? She cheated on you multiple times, and even with your brother. First, Grey Rock, and 180. Learn them. Personally, you should file as quickly as possible. And then I am not sure of the laws in Canada, but I would also file for her eviction at the same time. You need to now have a separate conversation with the kids, age appropriate. But also ask them first what their mother told them. I would combat her lies with the truth. Next, I would remind her that any future conversations in regards to the kids will happen together while she is living here. Get a co-parenting app and send it to her. Next time when she says, how could you do this to the kids? If it were me, I would only respond with the names of all the men she messed around with. Then ask, how could you do that to the kids and me? No other response is needed from that. I would also let her know that if she lies, any evidence will be put out for everyone to know. And her truth should be that she cheated on you a number of times, and that you are a great husband and father and did not deserve any of it. Cheaters are master manipulators. Don't fall for it will destroy the kid's tactic. Your kids will adjust. I suggest you implement the 180 or Gray Rock and try a parenting app so you can go no contact. Talk to your kids now, as your soon-to-be ex-wife is already spinning a narrative. They're old enough to handle the truth and why you're getting divorced. I'm worried how she is going to spin it. Get ahead of it and tell them in a child-friendly way what happened. I'd hate for her to go the projection route and say you are the one cheating, but she sounds like a pretty vile person. Recently found out wife cheated 10 years ago, and I can't look at her the same way. I've been married for 6 years. It wasn't picture perfect, but I did love my wife very much. We have built a good life and we both put in a lot of effort to make it work. While doing some cleaning about a year ago, I found an old cell phone. Thinking it was mine, I charged it to see if I could find some old music and found out it was my wife's. I'm not the jealous type and still don't know why I did this, but I started reading text messages from 2012 and found some stuff that I never would have expected. By piecing a bunch of texts together, I figured out that she banged another guy while on a work trip, while we were still dating, then made a few more work trips back to the same location at least 2 more times that summer. I confronted her about it, and she claimed to not remember anything. I offered for her to read the texts on the phone, which she did, and then came clean. According to her, it was a one-time thing, and the other trips were strictly work-related. She then offered for me to go through her Facebook messages, etc. on the spot. We stayed up for hours each night over the next week, talking about it and our relationship in general. And I forgave and agreed to move on. That didn't work though, so I began to see a therapist without any improvement. What kills me is, from reading the texts, there's no way it was just one time. She deleted all of the texts between the two of them, so there was clearly intent to bury it and never tell me. She was texting her friends about it. It's how I figured it out. Now I am embarrassed that they knew about it behind my back, and even more disgusted with them for encouraging it. I refuse to associate with any of them anymore, or even acknowledge them for that matter. She maintained contact with this guy on social media for years afterwards. Even hit him up for work leads when we were thinking about moving down there after we got married. She showed minimal remorse and never truly owned it in my opinion. The intrusive thoughts about them together consumed me and ate me alive for months until I turned it into disdain and disgust towards my wife. I am desperate to do anything in order to not to throw away the last 10 years. But on the same hand, I probably would have walked away by now if it wasn't for our children. I 100% would have walked if I had found out when it happened. We have built an amazing life together, and I feel like the last 10 years have been a freaking lie. I was planning on growing old with her, and now I can't even look at her without feeling contempt. I think my relationship with my wife is damaged beyond repair. I am planning on bringing it up again this weekend, and am not looking forward to it, nor do I expect it to go well. At this point, I'm pretty sure we're done, but I would still like to understand the why behind the infidelity to get closure. I suspect that the answer is that some people are just selfish pieces of crap. Start with one fact. Your wife will lie to the extent your knowledge allows her. She even lied when you had evidence. You found one instance by happenstance on an old forgotten phone. If you're a rational man, what are the odds this is the only thing that happened in a decade of unrepentance and lies? Start your conversation with this bombshell, that you're getting the paternity of your kids tested. Tell her that forgetting a physical affair means she puts no weight on betraying your marriage. If you want her to tell, you need to preface the conversation that she should spend the first part of it explaining why you should believe a word she says, when every bit of evidence suggests she lies as easily as breathing. Tell her you don't think the way to trust is routed through you ignoring reality. And yes, there are no other whys than selfishness. You know that old joke about why dogs lick their genitals? It's because they can. According to Opie, the wife has garbage friends. What is the chance that nights out with those scumbags were innocent nights of dinner, a few drinks, and then back home? As your marriage likely ends, if those friends she bragged with are still around, be sure to reach out to their partners and be clear why your marriage ends and how their partners were complicit in it. Not sure if it's a coincidence or karma, call it what you want, but all of them are single, unhappy, and lonely with multiple failed relationships. This is not a coincidence. They actively sabotage each other's relationships. Women like this encourage each other to cheat and to constantly look for the greener grass. They will always denigrate you behind your back to your wife and encourage her to do the same. They are a toxic presence, and honestly, for any married couple, the wife's single friends are often the biggest threat to their marriage.